All right, now for the real meat of it. Time to do a transaction between two users. That's also pretty straightforward. It's a post to the items resource, and you give it these parameters. So the ID, which I usually use secure random to generate in Ruby, but you can use any unique string. Name, amount, this is in pennies, so this is going to be $420. Payment type, and there's several different payment types that PromisePay accommodates, including straight sending the money, that's express. We have escrow services, escrow with partial release, and so on. We need the IDs of the buyer and seller. And so in this case, it's going to be me. I'm buyer number 2, and the seller will be user 9000, the one that we just made. Fees, I just randomly added this one, but you can make as many fees as you'd like and append them to transactions as it makes sense. And then of course the description. So post that, and this comes back to you. If you're following along on the dashboard, it has just showed up here. Now it's important to see the status of the transaction. So this is an escrow transaction, and right now its status is pending. And there's a lot of different stuff that you could do from this point. You can send a request payment. You can send payment. There's a couple different ways this could go. And so for us, we're going to do request payment, and that can be found as a patch call under item actions. So Jenny is basically saying, hey, pay me for the scooter. And so for this we need the item ID. And that is right here. So there, we've now requested payment. And if you look at the status now, it's updated to say that the payment has been requested. Good job, Jenny. Ball's in your court, Daniel Schaefer. Let's make a payment. And this requires 2 params, the item ID and the payment account ID. So let's go over to Daniel, see what payment methods he has. Ooh, we have to do this through the API. It's going to be users, ID, bank accounts. No, it's going to be users, ID, card accounts. All right, so I have this card. This is the ID. And I will make payment with that. That's the account ID. The item ID, patch that in. And now the payment is made. And if you go back to items, you'll see the status has been updated again to payment deposited. So from here, Jenny's gonna be like, all right, the money is there in the escrow. I'd like to get it. So she's gonna do another one called request release. Now, in the case of the transaction being a partial release, you could request half of the money or a quarter of the money. But since we just did a straight escrow transaction without partial release, we're going to say we'd like the full $420. If you come back here, the status will once again be updated. to payment release requested. And once we make sure that everything has been successfully taken care of, the scooter has been delivered, we can finally do the patch for release payment, and the transaction is now complete. And that's how you use the PromisePay API to allow buyers and sellers to transact with each other. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a line at developers@promisepay.com. I will get back to you as soon as humanly possible.